Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets back on YouTube. So we saw the Pope pass away. A lot of us think that the Pope was on ice, the real Pope. they decided, of course, they would decide to, have that event happen on, the resurrection of Jesus Christ Day, Easter. So, these evil ones want to take away from those beautiful times. So 88, we saw also Klaus Schwab step down from the World Economic Forum. He said that he would probably be there until 2027 or something like that. And just abruptly today, he's like, I'm out. Right. So he says, I'm getting ready to turn 88. And I think it's time for me to go. And so is someone deciding these events? I believe so. So we know that, with God, there are amazing events that take place that are, you just can't make these up. It's kind of like when Donald Trump came into office. He came in 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days. That's incredible. So these numbers for the good side, God numbers, and then we have numbers for the Luciferian evil side. And you're like, Mike, the Pope, evil? There seems to be a lot of problems there, right? A lot of children involved with priests, and you guys know what I'm talking about. I can't go too far in here, but it is divine orchestration at its finest. Well said, Kathy. I have to put that one up there. And that's what we like to see. We know when it's happening, and we know when the other side is trying to manipulate these times. And this, for all intents and purposes, was definitely a manipulated time frame. To pass away on, on Easter. Come on. Really? Come on. So J.D. Vance was the last person to see him. I don't know, last person, but the last dignitary to see him. Of course, the left is blowing it up that he's the reason why the Pope died. So that's pretty crazy. But maybe he did have some kind of words. President Trump. No. It's like, you remember the scene from I'm not going to try and do the words or the music. I was about to, but you remember on the that one show where the movies where you had the mafia guys, and they came in and they're like I guess the cardinal or the Pope, I don't know what it was getting in the way, and so he took a great fall. These things are planned, I think, and it is interesting when you see these things transpire, like Klaus Schwab and the 88. Now, Bo Pony has been on Nino's Corner. He goes on there and he drops some really good information. So he's been he said that on the 20th, around that time frame, was going to be something big. Now, the left was also saying that Trump was going to try and, declare martial law on the 20th. On Easter, really, guys? Are you serious? So anyway, they're trying to front load what they know is coming, I think. I believe that is coming for them. But we'll see. We'll see how that transpires. I hope it doesn't transpire like that. But at this point, it would be very interesting to see if it doesn't transpire. So 88, let's look at 80. So Bo Pony was talking about how when we had Back to the Future, remember the DeLorean had to get to 88 miles per hour to open that portal and go through time. So I feel like that's what's happening right now. The portals are opening for us to ascend to higher consciousness. And that's what's really going on. God's in control of this one. Of course, the deep state, the dark ones, want to manipulate everything and control everything. And this is one of those times where they're not being successful. And I think Klaus Schwab was also, it was time for him to step down, or maybe he was given an ultimatum. I don't know, but I don't know. I think these ladies, they knew what was up. That's a great tell right there with that look, right? So Melania and Trump's daughter looking at the Pope, and I don't know. I think they knew. Whether intuition or they knew the backstory on this, they're giving him quite the look. So I know some of you guys, a lot of you guys watch this on the iPhone, and then the next is like the TV. I see the stats is pretty cool. And so if you're only listening, we have Melania and Ivanka, they're looking at the Pope with eyes like, you're not a good man, right? And, we know about you. And so that's what the Trump administration is all about. You know, he did that world tour in his first administration, and he went and talked to the Pope. He talked to everybody around the world. He did the sword dance with the Saudis, and the king was like left behind, and Trump's got the sword, and he's dancing. It's like the king is like, oh crap. And then he went to saw the Pope, and the Pope was really not very happy. And I guess he scolded, J.D. Vance because they needed open border. It was like, really? And you have walls all around the Vatican. Yeah. You're one to talk. So Klaus Schwab abruptly quits as WEF chair weeks after signaling a years-long wind down. So weeks ago, April 1st, April Fool, he said that he's 87, and he says, following my recent announcement, and as I enter my 88th year, I have decided to step down from the position of chair and as a member of the board of trustees with immediate effect. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Klaus. Are you going to be, stretched out here pretty soon? Maybe that boy's gone too. He's on ice somewhere. And then they're going to decide when they're going to display him, right? I think this is the way this works. So if you take Joe Biden, so we know that Joe Biden, he went over to, see his funeral on the day that he was inaugurated. It was, you can see from day one that was not Joey. That would look nothing like Joe. And then we saw evidence of a mask, in the neck and in the back of the neck, and bunching of the mask on the chin when he was on the Air Force one time. So it's pretty obvious. They were displaying that for everybody to see. But recently they had an Easter. The Democrats had an Easter celebration of presidents. So on their website, they put out Barack Obama, Clinton, JFK, and who was the other one? The worst, used to be like the worst president ever. Oh, Carter. But they didn't have the new number one worst president ever in history, and that was Joe Biden. Wow. And he was just their president. But they didn't have him on their website. He wasn't displayed. That's very interesting, isn't it? And then the family with Jill and all the kids and everything, they were on the steps and somebody took a picture. And then they stuck in the back, they put photoshopped in Biden in a suit. Everybody's in casual clothing like you would be on Easter Sunday. And Joe Biden's back there in a suit like, I think we're telegraphing. So they're going to have the announcement. I don't think that boy's on ice. I think he's long gone, buried. So, but we'll see. We'll see how this thing works out. I don't know. So who else is going to turn up? Hillary. So there's so many. So 88, Back to the Future, opening a portal. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing portals open, and numerology says that it's a karmic number. 8 is considered a karmic number. Boy, those guys get some karma, right? Meaning it can reflect past lives and their lessons, as well as opportunities for growth and fulfillment in the current life, transition, and change. The number 8 can also represent a significant transition or change, indicating a move toward a higher level of consciousness or fulfillment. And that, I believe, is what we're headed for. I think we're seeing the collapse of the system. Today, the stock market was down pretty good. It got a little bounce at the end. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow will like skyrocket it like it did that one day, the highest it's ever gone up ever, at point percentage-wise, point-wise. So massive manipulation still going on in the stock market. It's going to jerk back and forth, but eventually it goes down. So all these manipulations, all these different things are happening now on the cosmic level. Let's listen to a little bit about this date and see what is being shared.
21st, the planet of time, authority, and consequence. Saturn locks into an exact conjunction with the north node of fate at 20.
Now, Saturn is often they have the black cube. Of course, that's BlackRock, and there's all these cubes in all of these different companies. There is actually, they have found through orbiting rockets or whatever that pass by, they've actually seen a black shape, a dark shape or outline on the northern pole of Saturn. So Saturn, of course, the bad ones always try to take something and flip it, like take the numbers 666, which are, numbers of love, and they flip it to be ugly and mean. They do a lot of that stuff. And they've been doing it for a long time. They're pretty good at it. They make a lot of things bad. So Saturn is often seen as Saturn, and a lot of the symbology and the planetary alignments and all that kind of stuff obviously has an effect. Now, there are people that say that astrology is all mumbo jumbo. I challenge you to go to any bar on a full moon night. I used to be a bouncer, and I also used to tend bar, and there's definitely an effect on. You ask anyone in your family that's a police officer, anyone that's in healthcare, they'll tell you that on the full moon there is absolutely an effect on the human body and consciousness. All right, so the planetary alignments most definitely are affecting our consciousness, and we can gather lots of information from these time frames. So we're in one of those particular time frames today.
26 degrees Pisces. This is the most karmically loaded alignment of 2025. And when karma meets destiny at the final degree of the zodiac, everything unfinished rises. Everything denied is exposed. This is a portal and a karmic gate that crashes open whether you're ready or not. In this video,
So this is basically what we're seeing right now. So this is from DNA Awakening. Hopefully I might get shut down for this. I forgot about that. Oh, well. Hopefully you get to see this. Hopefully it stays up there. But DNA Awakening, Saturn conjunct North Node, the karmic collision has begun. So that's one of the things, we have to look at as far as the different consciousness realms that can be awakened, that can be moved around and utilized in this coming consciousness realm. I think that we're moving into a vastly much better experience. Consciousness is going further, going higher, and so forth, and that's what we're seeing right now. Now, another one is high-speed solar wind has hit the Earth. And during these events, I was going to play the video, but I just I think I can't play these here in YouTube because it basically gets shut. You get your channel shut down, or it won't be monetized or whatever. So there's earthquakes that happen whenever solar wind hits the Earth. So we're getting a lot of solar wind right now. We have a massive coronal hole, and a lot of the earthquake activity we've had is because of coronal holes. when you have a decrease in sunspot activity, you get massive coronal holes like we're having now. So we're moving into a grand solar minimum where it's going to get colder, like we've been seeing over the last couple of years. Although the deep state keeps telling us we're like blurring it up, hottest ever. But Al Gore said supposedly like 10, 15 years ago, we're supposed to stop having snow, and there was no more snow, and the poles are going to melt. The poles are actually increasing in size, and as we're seeing now, we're still getting snow all the way in the northern climates, in the northeast, and big snowstorms coming in through the west. So this is more of the manipulation that we see going on out there. But we have to watch these coronal holes, guys, because when the coronal holes comes around, they really project a lot of energy, electrical energy at Earth. And when this happens, we get earthquakes, pretty big ones. So we're on earthquake watch right now. So just be heads up if you're in an earthquake zone somewhere in the world. Right? It could be the Ring of Fire. You could be, where earthquakes have already been popping in Italy. Who knows? The Greek Isles. There's lots of earthquake spots have been really acting up lately. And of course, we have the Andreas Fault Zone in California. I think it's going to get some good shaking coming up, and tsunamis and all kind of crazy stuff this year. So I predicted this. Last year, I predicted we were going to have massive earthquakes and tsunamis and everything this year, and volcanoes and all kind of crazy stuff. So this is because of the grand solar minimum that we're moving into, and the massive electroactivity that's going to be coming off the sun. All right, so and of course, yes, we do have the evil ones have HARP and all that kind of stuff that they're going to be ramping all that stuff up, because that's what they do. They're evil. They're psychopaths. They want to destroy humanity, and they want to be in control. They enjoy wars and killing and all that kind of stuff. So we just have to be heads up on that. So let's look at what's going on with the stock market. Stock market, of course, is bouncing around, mostly down. Today it free-falled, and then it kind of like stabilized, and it got a little pop-up. So who knows? Maybe tomorrow we'll see the stock market get a little bit of a rise. Right now, let's see the Qs. The Qs are down very, very slightly after rising. The diamonds are down slightly. The Magnificent Seven looks like they're all still down. They're not getting any pop. So everything kind of went down pretty good today. But there is a possibility always that this thing could turn around and go up. Bitcoin was up fairly good today. It hit 88, but not the 88.8. So it has to hit the 88,800 and go beyond it and close above that. And then we might see Bitcoin, go back up a little bit. I don't know. I don't think so. I think we're going to see gold continue its rise. At one point today, it was up over $100. Looks like right now it's up over 96. Silver was up slightly. Up. It goes up and it hits highs, and then it pulls back. So we hit 33. It pulled back. I think we're going to see silver explode massively to the upside. Massively to the upside. Every time we've seen silver over 101, I think it's like 104, 105 to 1. It takes 105 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. That's historically very, very, in fact, historically, it's like, if you go back, it's like 15, far back in time, throughout most of history, it's like 15 to 1 in the 1800s, early 1800s, all the way to now. Normally, it's like 15 to 1. So will we see that again? I think so. I think we're going to see that. So if we're going to see that, that means silver is going to go much, much higher. Now, when it goes much, much higher, we're going to start to transition over to gold, and then gold, really starts to rocket off again. So I have, in the description box, I have Dr. Kirk Elliott. It's like having gold on your person, guys. He's very reputable. has one of the highest concentrations of silver on the planet in warehouse, or not warehouse, in a vault. Very, very safe. So highly recommend it. So what are we going to see going forward with the housing market? If we're seeing the stock market crashing, kind of like what we saw in 2008, are we going to see the housing market crash us also? Yes, it's already started. And it's going to accelerate as we move forward. So Zillow just released its housing market sell signal. And 700 plus cities are having price corrections. Some of them pretty significant throughout the country. So they're seeing that the housing is going to, correct fairly significantly this year. I've been saying this is coming for a couple of years. Like if you bought at the height, you're going to get spanked. But if you bought and you're just going to live there and you have the money to live there, or you bought it for cash, I wouldn't worry about it. You're not trading it. It is what it is. But this is a great opportunity. If you've put your money in silver, accumulated silver, still not too late. Silver is still at a good point. If you have your retirement, if you have your IRA still in the stock market, you're probably going to get spanked pretty hard, and you're not going to see that money probably for a long time, if ever in your life. All right. You look back on 1929, it was like 30, 40 years before people saw that height again. Same thing happened with Japan. Japan crashed. It was just this year that Japan, they crashed before 2000. So for 25 years, it was below the height of the Japanese stock market high. And just this year, it touched above it, and now it's starting to pull down again. So not a good time. You have to balance your portfolio. Have a little bit of silver. You can get that. Dr. Kirk Elliott's group can help you with that. So I hope you guys do. You could probably take that money when you retire, and if it's within the next few years, because if you look at 2008 when the stock market crashed, that's when housing started to crash. 2007 and all the way into 2012. So that's a long time, right? So over that period, it went down, 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 down. If you bought it at that low, and who times everything perfect, but if you bought it that low and you went to the high of 2022, you made a lot of money, right? So if you're a trader in the home pricing and so forth, you're going to do really well in this downturn if you have silver and gold, which you can convert and put it into real estate. That's my plan. So obviously you can take that and put it into stocks. Will someday come back, right? You can also, if you're young, that's a great idea. If you're older, like in your 60s, that's not a good idea. If you're 50s and 60s, and you have stock portfolio that's doing really well, it'll do a lot better in silver, a lot better. So I would take a percentage of that and move it. So if we look at the people that are watching this, I looked at this. This is the YouTube has amazing information in it now, and you can go in and just look at so many different things, which I was doing. Like I was just fascinated with all the information you get from YouTube right now. So I looked at a lot of the performing videos that you guys are like loving. For instance, when the corrupt judicial system is brought under control, remove the rest begin. So a lot of you guys like that. If I look into the analytics of that, it gives me incredible information. So I look at the audience. So the audience, 65 plus years, that's the highest, because I put out information where I'm in that range. I'm in that age range. So just slightly. I got like 5 months, and I hit 65. It takes a while before you get smart enough to understand a lot of the stuff that I put out. I know, because it took me a long time. Now I've been putting this stuff out obviously for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years actually. But it's really gotten better. So 55 to 64, very, very high percentage, 35%, 46% of 65 plus, 45 to 54, 13%. And then we have 35 to 44, 4.2, and we even have 25, 20, 34. We have a little bit less under 1%. So I remember when I used to go to spiritual events, I'd be the only guy there. Most of the time, be like one other guy there, and be like, "Hey, like you're the only other guy too." So so the women are intuitive. They're in touch with spirituality, which is where we're going. Bye bye Pope. Bye bye Klaus Schwab, and that's allowing us to advance, guys. It's opening portals, and we're going to pass through these, and we're going to go into higher dimensional consciousness. So these time zones and so forth are perfect for us right now. Now, most of the audience is women, 60% to 40%, and most people watch or listen on a mobile phone and then TV. That's why I love being back on YouTube, because you can watch on TV, Rumble, not so much, right? And then the computer and tablets are, less as much, not as much. And so fascinating information. So just thought I'd share a little bit of that with you guys. The amount of viewing just over the last, I haven't been back for like less than 2 weeks. And we're reaching almost 250,000 views, I think. We have almost 3,000 new subscribers. I've been at the same subscriber amount on Rumble for like a year. So things are looking up on YouTube. Hopefully they continue to do that. Yeah, you gotta trust your gut. That's it. So there's gut. That our guts have a lot of neurons. They call it the second brain, the gut. It has a lot of neurons. So when you get that, in your gut, a lot of guys that are warriors and have survived combat, right, will tell you they get that gut. I just knew it in my gut that it was bad, and so trust your gut. That's a certain level, and then the next one would be the intuitive state, which is the heart brain. So if you look at heart brain math, so forth, you'll find a lot of this stuff out, and I teach this in my courses as well. So that's intuition. So tapping into God source, your pineal gland is basically an antenna, and you get and receive, receive and send, I should say it like that, information from your pineal gland, right? And there's lots of other things involved in that, but that's the basics. So what else do I see going forward? I see magnificent things. And I also see, problem areas. The problem areas are, going to present themselves. And I think a lot of that is basically just, exposing. Lots of exposing. So Democrats are adopting a ridiculous new dark woke strategy to fight President Trump. Not adopting, they've been doing this for quite some time. And not just President Trump, they've been doing, the takeover of America, I think, for quite some time. The truth is, Democrats continue to show they have failed to learn their lessons after Republicans beat them like Mike Tyson whooped Peter McNally in last year's elections. All right. Wow. Okay. Instead of looking inward and figuring out where they went wrong, the left is jumping headfirst into the definition of insanity, thinking things might just be different next time. So they have this dark woke phenomenon that's emerged. As liberals try to get their groove back, some party insiders say Democratic politicians have been encouraged to embrace a new form of combative rhetoric aimed at winning back voters who have responded to President Trump's no-holds-barred version of politics. So very combative. That's what we're seeing. That's kind of like, trying to stir things up, like I've talked about. We don't want to see that. Jamie Raskin, that rascally fellow, threatens countries working with Trump, saying that Dems will retaliate when we come back to power. And of course, the Dems, they have buddies that are in MS-13, and I guess they'll maybe send them send them across the waters and somebody that gets out of line. It's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Of course, we know they're trying to get the MS-13 guys back. They don't like it. They didn't want him to go. They're criminals. It's like something is up for that, isn't there? I think Dems 13, absolutely, Mikey. So there's some serious problems going on with the Democrat Party. But now, when I talk about how I looked into the places and people and so forth that watch a channel, that Chicago is consistently number one, the number one city that watches. I'm like, what? Really? Are liberals watching me? It's like, we got to know what they're doing. What are they talking about? Where are they going? I don't think so. I think I don't think any liberals watch me, but maybe if you are, hey, it's like, I love you guys too. But I think that a lot of people are trying to figure out what's going on, and in those cities, they're it's pretty tough. And I'm just going to pull it up real quick and look at some of this, and then maybe even share the screen. I can probably share the screen with this. I don't think I'll get punished. Maybe, but I don't think so, but we'll see. All right. Let's see. Reach. The reach. Where is it reaching? Is that the one that I want? Engagement. Audience. All right. It's top geographies. United States, Canada, excuse me, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, Netherlands, South Africa, Ireland, Philippines, and Sweden are the top ones that tune in to watch the show. And like I told you guys, gender, mostly female, and the age and so forth. So cities. Let's see. Is it going to give me the cities? I was just looking at this last night. It's not giving me cities now. Of course. Views by cities. Come on. Give me. It was like just a perfect breakdown. I'll have to pull it up later. So I just looked at it last night and it was like, holy moly. That's incredible. Right? But there's cities all over the world. A lot of Australian cities and a lot of Canadian cities. Of course, cities all over the world. And it was pretty cool. So it is very fascinating. The people that are tuning in and watching and learning and trying to figure this stuff out just like everybody else. So I think it's fascinating, and I hope you guys do too. And let me look at one other thing before I sign off. So I like to look at Drudge. Drudge used to be so good, and now Drudge is not so good. Right? As far as information. When I was traveling overseas, all of us would go to Drudge, and we'd look at Drudge, and Drudge would have the best information, and then they sold out, and so now it's a leftist blob, disinformation. So it's too bad. So I like to go over there and see, exactly what they're saying, and what they wanted to This is the one I wanted to do. I saw this earlier. They're saying that GOP senator pushes conspiracy theory. So this is Mockingbird media all over Drudge, CIA, everything. So I look at it, I'm like, I see right through this stuff now. Conspiracy theory that 9/11 was an inside job. My eyes have been opened. So Senator Ron Johnson, who you might remember was one of the first ones that came out against that thing to win the arm, and he got thrashed for it, but he's still around, fortunately. So he's on the Benny show, Benny Johnson, and So I talked about this. If you watch my shows with the three amigos, Scott McKay, David Nino Rodriguez, and myself, in the last show that we did together, I brought up that, it really sucks. We've been pushing for the 9/11 truth for so long. Everybody knows it, but no one really comes out and talks about it. So I know when we push something, it's going to show up. So now here it is. It's starting to filter up. So it got thank you guys. It got some, got some traction. It got out there, and now the other guys want to talk about it. All right. And the big movers of information, and I'm not going to call them out because Nino told me about some of them. He was on there, and he's like trying to bring it. Why don't you guys talk about 9/11? They're like, what? It's like, are you serious? So, and you would be surprised at the people that are way up the list. I want to say it so bad, but anyway, the senator who sits on the Senate's Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations questioned the official explanation for the collapse of the World Trade Center. We're getting somewhere, guys. We're starting to move in the right direction. So he says within these agencies, a lot of them are going to cover their tracks and cover things up and destroy a lot of evidence, the senator said. It's going to be very frustrating for the American public because this is their information. They deserve the truth. It's been hidden from them way too long. So just like JFK, I've had the shooter behind the fence. Now, I have that show here on YouTube, and some of you have watched it. Now, I've done the shows with him on Rumble. I have lots of shows with him on Rumble. Ole Demigard. We have been blowing up JFK, evidence and truth for a long time, for years now. And of course, they finally come out with the JFK files. And was there really any big reveal? So not so much. It's like we've already covered all this stuff. It's like it's just validating a lot of the stuff that we covered. Now, with James Files, a lot of people are having an issue trying to get over the fact that James Files killed the president. Yes, he shot him from behind the fence. James Files and all of the people that were, or most of the people that were there that day, and a lot of those people, former veterans, Vietnam veterans that were recruited by who would eventually be President George H.W. Bush. He was the recruiter for this military group. And just like when I went to BUD/S, and just like when I was a BUD/S instructor, there was 70+% of people didn't make it through there. Now, James Files says they got this military high-speed veteran group together, and they came out and said, we're doing this, you're going to be involved in this, you're going to be involved in that, you're going to serve your country this way and that way, and we're going to be doing all these things. And he said 70% of the people got up and walked out. And the rest of them went through training to a very high level. Not all of them made it through. So at the end of that, there were like 40 assassins. Some of those assassins were used for operations, probably still are being used, guys. So these are where very high-speed veterans go. So I think of my time when I was in the SEAL teams, and I went to the highest level, Tier 1, SEAL Team 6, Delta, all of us basically are the best of the best, and we get chosen, or we volunteer, and we get chosen. We go through more training, and then we are in these groups that are very, very high speed. So these guys were on an even more high speed group. Do you guys understand, how corrupt this system is? So a lot of people are like, you're saying this guy was like a hero. Well, he would have been and was a hero in his group of professional, high-speed, elite, former veterans that were, involved in these assassinations. They believed that they were serving the country. So imagine imagine that there was someone in an administration like JFK that was presented as being bad. All right, so this group has basically said, this guy's bad. We've had, the top people in the military, the top people in the CIA, the top people in the FBI. They all say that this person is bad. They all know that. They see the evidence. They get the intel and everything. And they're like, this guy, we don't have time to, put him through trials. We have to just take him out. So that's what they tell these guys. That's what they told these guys. So that's just one that we know about. Think of all of the other people that have been assassinated, and they've tried to assassinate me many times. And there's been other people that talk about having almost being killed, almost being assassinated as well. We know that President Trump was almost assassinated twice. So if you look at all of this, you know that there's some group of very skilled, very highly trained people that are involved in this. So you have to ask yourself, at what point do we clean all that up? Do we inform these people that, hey, you've been involved in something not so good? I can tell you, when I look back on my military career and when I was, worked for the CIA, I'm like, oh, dang. I was not doing good work. I was helping the bad guys. Yeah. So you ask most military veterans that have been in the military for a long time, and almost all of us, the number one reason why military veterans commit suicide is because they learned they were used, and they feel so bad about it. All right. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because a lot of you guys, see, is like a very small percentage of you guys that are trying to fight becoming awake, right? And those of you that are slowly rising and starting to wake up, because I don't see any women talking about this. It's all guys. You guys are hard-headed. You're Neanderthals. I know, because I used to be, right? I'm a knuckle dragger, right? But I learned the hard way, and I evolved. So I'm trying to help people evolve. I'm trying to help people wake up to this corrupt system that takes children and abuses them within the Catholic Church. All right. So we've had so many priests that have come that have been, this priest, did this and this priest was involved in this, and a lot of that stuff is covered up. You have police departments covering up. You have politicians covering up. You have the mainstream media covering up, and then a few, kids that when they were abused, they grow up and they start to talk about it. If they survive and don't get taken out by some of these assassin teams, they expose some of these guys. Some of them. It's very corrupt. It's legion throughout the Catholic Church. It's legion throughout the Muslim Church. I won't say it's legion, but it's also within the Buddhist church, right? You guys see that video where who's the head guy for the Buddhist? He's sucking on a child's tongue. It's like, stick your tongue out, and he sucks his tongue. It's like, what? So this is the corruption is extreme throughout all of this stuff, guys. So when I'm bringing up stuff and I'm telling you, and I bring on guests, and I have these guests on over and over again, these are legit. If I'm bringing them back over and over again, they're obviously legit at this point. So I know a lot of you want to make this thing fit in your limited reality, right? And there's a lot bigger reality that's going on out here. The sooner you wake up, the sooner you start to watch and observe and learn, the further along that we go into taking down this corruption. Now, with the Catholic Church, I think it's done. Not the Catholic Church as a whole. I think it continues, but it continues with good people coming in finally, and getting rid of the evil ones that run it, and exposing them, and get that corruption out of there. Now, what has brought that about? It's because people risk their friggin' lives to come out and expose. So give them a little credit, right? Give them a little credit. So that's what I have to say about that. And Ron Johnson trying to expose the deep state and talking about the stuff that a lot of us have been talking about for years. It's like, when is somebody going to come out and talk about this? So here's Ron Johnson sticking his neck out there and talking about 9/11 and how this information was manipulated. And you're going to have the press come in and try and hammer him, discredit him, like a lot of us are discredited that bring out this information. But if it doesn't get exposed, then it continues, obviously, right? So how many of you out there? I mean, I wish you could see the hands. How many people believe 9/11 was, planes crashing into it, bringing those buildings down? Who still believes that? There still are people out there. And some of them are fairly well informed, but they've gotten off track on certain things. They believe certain things, and it's like they get a little hard headed, and it's hard to break them free to have them see a bigger picture. But at this point, I think that I saw it when it was happening. I said that's BS. All of that plane crashing into the Pentagon, no BS. Nope. Plane crashing out of the field is BS. Right? All of that. It's all that day it happened. I'm saying BS, bullshit. Right? So inside job on 9/11. So Ron Johnson and Benny Johnson, I'm pretty sure they're not related. We're bringing this information out. So I mean, I have there was a time where every year I was doing 9/11 stuff on 9/11. I would just do a very long show where I revealed how 9/11 was an inside job, and I gave my insights as an Navy SEAL demolition expert, a very, very high level demolition expert, and how I saw that it was all BS. Do you guys know there was I think it was close to 1,000 people, and I may be under. The numbers might be less or more, but I know there was significant numbers of people that jumped out of the building, and that's never really been reported. And the reason why they jumped out of the building is because it was being hit by direct energy weapons. They were being microwaved in the building, and they were tearing off their clothes, probably because their clothes were igniting. If you put clothing into a microwave, it will ignite, get hot, and start to ignite. That was happening to those poor people that were in those buildings where computer-generated planes, looked like they were crashing into the building, but disappeared in the building. And then these massive explosions, ejecting fuel. So that fuel that got ejected that created this amazing scene that everybody's like, oh my God. And that fuel is gone. It went out supposedly, but it stayed in the building, and it doesn't burn at the heat that it needs to be to melt steel all at the same time. All of those pillars that were designed to take multiple airlines hitting them and still stay standing. So, and then it crashes. I've had the experts, the engineers for truth. I've had experts. I did multiple shows with those guys. So it's like, come on. How much do you need to see before you wake up, right? So that's what we're seeing today. We're seeing Catholic Church, exposed. Bye-bye, right? The Pope's gone. The next Pope it will be interesting. It will be a Pope. If it's not a Pope it's not aligned to President Trump, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. I think it will be. And if that happens, glory be to God, because I tell you, things are really going to start to move then, right? It's going to move in a very, very nice direction very, very quickly. So let's hope and pray that does happen. And there's lots of different things out there that you can get involved in that are going to help you going forward. One of those is my LifeWave. So if you look at my description box, it's basically LifeWave, michaeljaco.com. Very simple. And then you learn the benefits of the X39. Supports relief of minor pain and aches, maintain healthy inflammatory response. Most disease is from that inflammatory response. So this is reducing that, support natural wound healing, enhance sports performance. This was designed for the Navy SEALs, and I heard about it, and I'm like, dang, I missed out on that. And then several years later, I saw that it actually is available to everybody, and I got the energy enhancer on, like right now. You can't see it, but I'll show it when I get full screen again. So anyway, I have a lot of these patches on, have them on right now. Improve skin appearance, improve mental clarity, provide energy and vitality, speed up recovery. So the challenge, of course, as we age, stem cells start to decrease. So this is actually activating your stem cells and bringing them back online. So lots of people that have talked about it, exponential growth in the company, and get started. Get started, guys. Get involved. I have a lot of information on here, but join the team as a brand partner. You're going to get 3 sleeves of LifeWave X39 at the core level. In advance, you get 6, or you can get sleeves of other patches. So what does X39, the mother of all patches, do? Increase energy, like talk about, anti-inflammatory, improve sleep, repair cellular damage. X49, increase lean muscle mass, bone density, muscle mass and strength, increase stamina, cardiovascular function and focus. We know that a lot of people are having cardiovascular problems, so this is one of those things that helps that. Of course, glutathione, boost your glutathione 300%. Yes. So that fights infection, reduces oxidative stress and so forth. And carnosine detoxes heavy metals, aids in wound healing, improves strength, stamina, and endurance. The Eon basically balances nervous system, your brain, because we know our brains are being attacked constantly, and a lot of people are stressed out. So it helps reduce that, reduce stress, master inflammatory, and of course the energy enhancer. You just put the energy enhancer on, you're going to burn 550 calories just by putting it on. Increases your metabolism. Then LifeWave, I had my kneecap shattered. I put the LifeWave on because I would have recurring pain in my shattered kneecap from the SEAL teams. It would act up every year, a couple times a year. I put the LifeWave on. Normally, the pain would last for, and it'd be pretty good pain. It would last for days, weeks, sometimes months. I put this LifeWave on, and the pain was gone within 5 seconds. The pain did not come back, and it didn't come back for over a year. And then it came back. I put the LifeWave on again. It's gone again. Right. So a lot of people get results from this. SB6, appetite, and craving suppressor. A lot of people use these new drugs that are out there that have Geomonster venom in it, right? To basically lose weight. And I've talked about it. I'm not going to go into detail about it here, but this is natural. Your body is naturally reducing that. So Silent Nights, get the Silent Nights, Alavida, good for skin. So lots of great ways that you guys can benefit. So that is what I have for you today. It's 5:55. What a perfect time. LifeWave was invented by Dr. David Schmidt. Well, David Schmidt, not doctor. It was David Schmidt. And David Schmidt is basically channels this information from God. So, and he talks about that. So great stuff. And I have a, Zoom training that I'm going to get on right after this, Miracle Monday. So if you want more information about this, you can come and join us. The description box, there's, where you can come in. Of course, I've got videos with David Schmidt. As you guys can see, we have great rapport. We have great interviews. The man is amazing. Look forward to doing more and join my team. We have, I believe, the best team. And we look forward to you guys joining us. And we'll see you guys next time. Lots of love.